ready for them Chiefs? Y'all ready for them Chiefs?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Talents Top 10. Baby, week 10. How you doing? This is my top 10 NFL teams heading into week 10. This is just how I see it. If you don't agree, if you do agree, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'm doing this also shortly after. Probably by this weekend, I'm going to have all 32 teams in a tier because Dan Talks Football has asked me to do one, so I'm going to do one for you guys. He did one just a couple days ago, so get a chance, go check out Dan Talks Football. And I'm going to make this short and sweet, so let's get into it. Number 10, my 10th best team in the NFL, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, they got blown out by the Ravens. Geno Smith did not have a good game. Kenneth Walker is averaging only like 3.5 yards a carry, but they're still a really decent team. They just have to prove that they can be more than just DK Metcalf in the passing game and Tyler Lockett. I still think they can turn around. I think they're going to make a run for the playoffs, but in my opinion, they're still the 10th best team in the league. Number 9, I've got the 49ers. They are a complete team. They're just dealing with injuries, but they're starting to get their pieces back. I think Debo comes back this week. Trent Williams is going to be back. Purdy is going to be one more week removed from the concussion. And that defense is still great. I think once they get all their pieces back and start playing complementary football again, they're going to be just fine. Number 8, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, listen. Okay, so they got beat by the Eagles, but that game was theirs to win a couple of times. I still believe they have problems with their red zone play calling. But they are a talented team, and I really think that game could have been theirs, and I think they win in Dallas when they play the Eagles at the end of next month. And they're 5-3, and it's just too much talent there for them to fall off because they hung with the Eagles. Number 7, I've got the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 6-3. They just ran into one of the top 3 defenses in the league. They're still a track team on grass. Tua is still one of the most accurate passes in the NFL this year. Tyreek Hill is doing Tyreek Hill things, and once they get A-Chain back, I think they're gonna be formidable. What I'm interested to see is what happens when they have to go to Buffalo in the weather. Everything's great when it's sun shining and rainbows. But for right now, they don't fall off. They just drop a little bit because the first half of that game was so lopsided. And I like to see how Tua does as he goes along with more pressure in his face. Number 6, I have the Bengals. They beat the Bills. The problem is, and the reason why they're so low is they're still last in their own division. They are getting scary again, though. They're getting good. Burrow is healthy, and he's starting to move the ball around, escaping the pocket, and he's starting to look like the Joe Burrow of old, which could be bad for the AFC North and the rest of the AFC, but we'll see. They have a trap game against the Texans, who are sneakily a little bit better than average. We all thought they were going to be tanking for Caleb, or a higher draft pick, but it looks like they're going to be pretty decent. Number 5, I have the Lions. The Lions run a bye week, but they're also 6-2. And I don't feel comfortable removing a team from the top 10 because they're on a bye week. The only issue that I have with the Lions is I think the 4 teams ahead of them on a neutral field could beat them. The Lions are great at home. But I think on a neutral field, the top 4 teams that I have above them could beat them in a one-game playoff. Number 4, I've got the Jags. Jags are 6-2. They lead their own division. Trevor Lawrence is playing great. The defense still leads the league in takeaways. And ETN is a beast. So I think they're good. And again, another team that was on a bye week that I just can't see moving off the top 10 and being punished because they didn't play. Number 3, I've got the Eagles. Yes, they're 8-1, and everybody will say 8-1, best record in football. They should be the number 1 team. They're 8-1, but they have looked beatable. Their defensive line and their offensive line is the strength of that team. But that secondary, I believe, can be had. I believe that secondary can be beaten. And I think that's why they've been in a lot of close games. And I think that the Dallas game, if Dallas could have ever broke the plane of the goal line, I think the Eagles would have lost that game. There's just too many things going against Dallas. It's almost like an unfortunate series of events for Dallas that game. And so they ended up losing. Hurts' injury is a concern to me. I don't know if anybody noticed he's been taking blows to that left knee, so he hasn't been really as mobile. Or maybe not as mobile, but not as not as mobile as he's used to being. And he took a shot on that knee in that game against the Cowboys. And he's wearing a brace. I don't know. I think this bye week coming up will help him. But for right now, I have the Eagles at 3 because I think they can be beaten. Number 2, I have the Chiefs. Because yes, the offense is struggling to put up 25 points a game, but they have the 3rd-ranked defense in the NFL, and have defense will travel. You know what I'm saying? And I really believe that when you have the best quarterback in the game and one of the best offensive minds to ever grace the game, I think with a number 3 defense, they've had the opportunity to kind of see what's working for them and what not. And I think after the bye week, we're going to see some difference from the offense. And I believe that they could beat the Eagles. And I believe their defense could clamp down. You got to remember, those boys are only in their 2nd year of this defense, which is why they're playing so well. And their defense secondary is made up of people that can play multiple positions. So they can do a lot of things with a lot of different people and kind of switch up the looks. And number 1 for me is the Baltimore Ravens. There's been a lot of discussion lately that Herbert from the Chargers is better than Lamar, but Lamar is playing scary good. And this is really the first time that he's actually had, I don't want to knock Greg Roman, but an offense that doesn't revolve around the running game where they're trusting him to throw. And is there anyone more scarier? Obviously, Mahomes is a situationally great runner of the football, but if there's anyone else that I would fear in a drop back is Lamar and his 4.3, 4.4 speed to take off running, because defenses, you just can't account for that. When he's in open space, he is scary good. Not to mention that he is passing out of his mind. And that defense is the 2nd-ranked defense, and they've blown out their last 2 teams and held them to less than 10 in 2 games in a row. So there you have it. My top 10 teams, ending with number 1 being the Baltimore Ravens. Agree, disagree, have some other teams that should be in. Hit me up in the comments, let me know. But that has been the Talent's Top 10. It's not on Tuesday this week, but I had to bring it to you anyway because I promised I would. And with that, hit the theme music.
You got your team, and we got a kingdom. Ready for war, we score and win. We're the Super Bowl champs, the king of the hill.